Everybody, I'm East Coast Pete, back at you with another mid-rock crisis. Today we're going to talk about the Cars. A new wave American rock band formed in Boston in 1976. Singer-songwriter guitarist Rick Ocasic, bass and vocalist Benjamin Orr, lead guitarist Elliot Easton, keyboard player Greg Hawkes, and drummer David Robinson. Now, new wave is a genre popular in the 70s and 80s with ties to mid-70s punk, incorporating disco, mod, and electronic music, as well as guitar, bass, and drums, but without the blues. New wave bands include the Buggles, Talking Heads, Blondie, Mink DeVille, Television, Duran Duran, Cyndi Lauper, Devo, The Pretenders, Elvis Costello, Ian Drury and the Blockheads, Nick Lowe, Joe Jackson, Graham Parker, Ska Revival, the B-52s, the Bangles and the Go-Go's, Adam and the Ants, and possibly Cheap Trick and Squeeze can all be considered new wave. Now, the Cars hit the ground running. Their first album sold 6 million units. Ocasic met Orr in Cleveland in the 60s after Ocasic saw Orr's band, the Grasshoppers. Ocasic and Orr joined bands in Columbus, Ohio, and Ann Arbor, Michigan. And they moved to Boston. Their first band in Boston, called Milkwood, released the album How's the Weather in '73. No charts. Next band was Richard and the Rabbits and included Greg Hawkes on sax. Hawkes left to tour with Martin Ball and his Fabulous Furniture. Ocasic and Orr continued as a coffee house duo. And the next band was Captain Swing with drummer Glenn Evans, later followed by Kevin Robichaux. Ben Orr was the lead singer with Ocasic on guitar. This band was noticed by WBCN disc jockey Maxanne Sartorini, who played their demos on her show. After several rejections by record companies, Ocasic decided to form a band more in line with his lyrics. Orr took over on bass, and David Robinson of the Modern Lovers took over on drums. Hawkes returned to play keyboards. It was Robinson who suggested the name The Cars. He brought a sense of fashion, and the Cars took on a new look. The single, Just What I Needed, was getting heavy airplay on WBCN and WCOZ. The band was signed by Elektra. The album The Cars was released in 1978, and it went to number 18 in the U.S. on the strength of the songs My Best Friend's Girl, Good Times, Rock, and You're All I've Got Tonight, as well as Bye Bye Love and Movin' in Stereo. In '79, Candy-O. It went to number 3. Songs Let's Go and All I Can Do and Double Life were the singles. And then in '80, Panorama. First song, Panorama, Cars, they sought to write a symphony just like this. Such a great driving song. A symphony of Panorama. Wow. It should be longer. I agree. Get me where I'm going. I give this song a 10. 2, Touch and Go. 5 out of 10. All I Need Is Something Else. 3, Gimme Some Slack. Love this one. Give that one a 10 also. 4, Don't Tell Me No. Vocals are by R. Singers in the same band often sound alike. Why is this? Give this song 7 out of 10. 5, Down Boys. Vocals by R. This is also a 10. It's my people. That's who these people are. They're mine. Rolling Stone magazine profoundly disliked Panorama, but I couldn't get enough of it back then or now. 1981 Shake It Up album and single, and Since You're Gone was more Rolling Stone magazine speed. After a tour, the band took time off. Ocasic released a solo album, Beatitude, and Hawks released his own, Niagara Falls. In 1984, Cars released Heartbreak City. You might think won a Video of the Year at the first MTV Video Awards. Other hits were Magic, Hello Again, and Why I Can't Have You. Drive, sung by R, was used in a video of the Ethiopian famine, directed by Timothy Hutton. Another hit single, Tonight She Comes, from their greatest hits, went to number 1, but it would be their last single to chart. Here's some solo albums: Change, No Change by Easton, The Lace by R, This Side of Paradise by Ocasic, and one more Cars album, Door to Door, the Cars gently ground to a squeak in 1988. There was a short reunion in an album, Move Like This, in 2011, but R died of pancreatic cancer in 2000. He was 53. He was irreplaceable. Cars Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2018. Now, much has been made of Ocasic and R's frosty relationship after the 80s, but much more can be said about their long friendship and teamwork to become America's best band for a time. Richard Ocasic became Rick Ocasic way back when. Rock music can do that. His vocals have been described as poutful foghorn, with a portion of clever ambivalence. His detached manner wore off on the band and even off stage. Emotions are kept inside. It took Ocasic and R a decade of planning and trying things out before the Cars' seemingly effortless ascent. Born into a Polish Catholic family in Baltimore, Rick attended parochial elementary school. That means strict. Rick hung out with the Drakes, a street gang with matching jackets. As a teen, he organized expeditions to Ocean City to hang out on the boardwalk. He tried college at Antioch and then at Bowling Green in Ohio. He dropped out and concentrated on his guitar and his songwriting. Benjamin Orzechowski was busy fronting the house band on the TV show Upbeat, which featured Brit bands like the Stones, Peter and Gordon, and the Dave Clark Five. Ben was competent on drums, bass, guitar, and keyboards. R and Ocasic are not what you'd call bookends. Ocasic is tall and thin with a gaunt look and straight black hair. R is stocky and bleach blonde with a round face and a bright smile. Ocasic hides behind sunglasses or picks out attractive girls near the front and flashes them with his smile. Or liked Rick's lyrics and he was the lead singer, and Ocasic was the rhythm guitarist. Orr was congenial, and Rick was spectral. They got along. It was all good. In Boston, they infiltrated the folk scene. Milkwood, Clubbed, and later Captain Swing were like a cross between Roxy Music and Steely Dan. But the band could not break out of regional status. Not yet big time, Ocasic simplified the lyrics, and when Orr switched to bass, the Cars became a national act. Rick Ocasek was now the frontman, and his understated approach went well with the punk rock look, but their songs were much more radio friendly than, say, the Ramones. That was the key to the Cars' success. The car keys, if you will. A contemporary look, a subtle rebelliousness, and songs that fans from multi-genres had their focus. For a decade, they drove that vehicle at the appropriate speed limit. But without checking the rear-view mirror, the Cars were a shiny new coin that record buyers were not embarrassed to support. The Cars were the first crossover group between punk and pop. And their success didn't change them. This band was sober, casually eyeing the prize. They carved out a space for themselves in the rock landscape and filled it. They were a band's band, talented, current, well within the groove, and intelligent without overindulgence. Later, when the air was being let out of the tires, when Ocasek and Orr lost touch with each other, Ocasek went Hollywood. It was weird. Everybody seems to have their favorite Cars song. I like Panorama. How about you? Thanks for being with me on Midrock Crisis, and I'll be back just as soon as I possibly can. Thanks everyone for being with me. Take ever good care. Bye-bye.